or the Urban Forest Trail. Why are we here? Because we're right next to this forest. And I think I should be up there. I'll make my way up there. So I'm here in Kuala Lumpur, or to be exact, Bukit Nanas, which means Pineapple Hill. This area you see there, which is now the Forest Eco Centre, I believe it's called, and that played a fairly important part in the history of this area of Kuala Lumpur. Behind that blue fence there is an area where a landslide occurred in 2014. When that happened, when they were clearing up the landslide, a local contractor discovered a secret tunnel. So in an area similar to what you saw there, dense rainforest, the tunnel was discovered, and they eventually found out that it was a labyrinth of tunnels underneath this hill of Bukit Nanas, which Bukit Nanas in Malay and in Indonesian means Pineapple Hill. Why Pineapple Hill? Well, this area was a great defensive position for the town then, the city of Kuala Lumpur. It stretches up a fair way, I think a couple of 100 metres at least in height, and there was a fort that was built up there. But before the fort was built, they planted pineapples. Why pineapples, you might ask? I mean, that looks fairly hard to get through anyway. But pineapples, with their spiky leaves, just made it more difficult for any invaders who wanted to get to the fort at the top of the hill. And the fort was there to protect the tin mines that were in the area. Hundreds of tin mines in the area. And there is KL Tower. Right on top of that hill, in a very strategic position. Possibly where the fort once was. I don't think the fort's still there. That's the tunnel that was discovered in 2014. I went the wrong way. I was on the right path to begin with. Let's have a look. Bit of a landslide. Highly doubt whether it's the same one from 2014, but the tunnels are all in there somewhere underneath Pineapple Hill. So the tunnels that were hidden underneath all that jungle actually served a very important purpose. They were used to get from one place to another without being seen, and used as storage facilities for weapons, food, and communication lines between the different parties of a war that was underway. That building you see right there, built in 1938 for rubber manufacturers. Now check that out. Check that out. Nice. Was back then considered the most modern building in all of Kuala Lumpur. And that one there, sort of a semicircle, built in 1960, somewhere around there. Wow, check out the one next to it. All the plants growing on it, the round windows. That looks 70s to me. But more about the war, Selangor War, in just a minute. I've got to find out where I'm going. That building there, that rather derelict looking building, it's built in 1954. The stonework you can see there facing that section of the building, that is actually limestone, I believe. Doesn't look like limestone, but anyway. From the Batu Caves, which are not too far on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur. So as I said in one of my previous videos, Kuala Lumpur was founded, it's named after the two rivers. Well, it's actually named it. Kuala Lumpur stands for muddy confluence of two rivers. The Klang River and another one which I've forgotten. As usual. There's another stylish looking building. Hotel Santa Grand Signature. I wonder if there's pineapples still growing in there. So, excuse all my distractions. I get distracted easily. The muddy confluence, which in Malay is Kuala Lumpur. Now Kuala Lumpur was discovered, don't quote me, around 1754, maybe 1755, if my memory is not deceiving me. Now, the reason it became important was the discovery of tin by a group of Chinese people, miners, I guess, and they found tin, and that became a very integral part of Malaysia's history, of Kuala Lumpur's history, and Malaysia. So, let me get round this corner. I'm looking for a particular building. The May Tower, that beigey coloured building there, that's a nice one. So by the mid-1800s, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in general, had become a powerhouse for the supply of tin. Supplied tin up to Penang and down to Singapore. Sorry, that's where I want to be. Maybe it's down here. So in 1850, the royal family of Selangor appointed Raja Abdullah to take control of what was going on with the tin industry. I have no idea where this goes. Let's have a look. He imposed taxes and tariffs on the trade of tin, and that proved to be pretty unpopular. There was another Raja Mahid, I think that's right, who opposed his reign because he said he was the true successor to the Selangor kingdom. I think that's what I'm looking for. Oh, look at the Merdeka there, nice. It was Raja Mahidi, and he became increasingly agitated with, well, A, not being in power, and B, because Raja Abdullah had aligned himself with the British, and he was none too happy about that. So in 1867, war broke out, and that's where Bukit Nanas comes in, because Bukit Nanas, this area, was one of the outposts of the war where some of the fighting would have taken place. Now this is St John's, this marvellous looking building here. St John's Institution, founded 1904. So over 100 years ago. Nice looking building there on the edge of the rainforest. I think that rainforest, varying reports, somewhere between 9 and 11 hectares. So not that big, but considering it's right in the centre pretty much of a major city, it's fairly impressive. There is monkeys and civet cats in there, I believe. But they want 40 ringgit to go in there. And my budget says no. Today, this here is SK Convent. Can't recall when it was built, maybe 1905. Nice looking building. And the covered walkways all the way along. Let me check. I'll check when it was built. It says SK Convent on the front. On Google it calls it SMK. I don't know what the difference is. Either way, it was built in 1899. Quite impressive. So, back to Radi. I think I've finally pronounced that right. Raja. Maybe I'll have to double check that. He launched his rebellion against the other Raja in 1867 and pretty much straight away seized control of Klang. Now Klang is the royal town. It is, if I've got my directions right, west of here, not that far, down towards the coast on, I was going to say the Andaman Sea, but it's not, it's something else. We'll figure it out. So Raja Abdullah, he turned tail and fled and went and sought help of the nearby chiefs and the British who he was aligned with at the time. That almost brings into where the British come into play, but that's a little bit further down the track. I'll save that. We'll find another building. Actually, I wanted to show you this building here. This one is truly magnificent. That's the building there with the spire from Merdeka sort of poking out the top. Wow, look, there's another one there. Look at that. Let's get closer to that one. So Raja Mahdi, while Raja Abdullah went off to seek help from the British, so to speak, Raja Mahdi formed an alliance with some local warlords and some Chinese secret society groups who would eventually come to play a fairly major part in shaping Kuala Lumpur today. Oh, there's another nice view of Merdeka there. So of the two groups, the Chinese secret society, one of them, I think it was the High Hin, supported King Abdullah and his allies, and the other one, not King, Raja Abdullah, and the other group, the Jihin, I think it is, they supported Raja Mahdi's claim to rule. And there's one of our better shots there. But this building here, right in front of us, now that is a classic. Look at that, it's very big and very nicely done. Now I'll have to look at, oh, look at this one, that's, all that face in there is some sort of stone. Very nice blend of stone and glass. Beautiful colours. So the High San group, the Chinese secret society, they were based here in Kuala Lumpur, and their rivals, another Chinese secret society, was the Jihin, I think it was. Now, they clashed here, and in 1871, one of the two started a fire here in Kuala Lumpur that, summarily to what I told you in my last video, how do I cross this road? The fire that happened in 1871 burnt Kuala Lumpur to the ground, and the leader of the High Sin group, whoever I said it was, he was nearly killed, and he fled the area. That's where I want to get to, that little building there. I'm presuming it's a church, I could be wrong. Probably am wrong, I don't know. St. Joseph's Presbyterian Church. Where do I cross? Oh, way down there. Look at that one, not bad. Not bad at all. Got trees growing right at the top and on the, out of those balcony type things. So, the Raja Mahdi had control of Kuala Lumpur, but the leader of the High San group, he formed a bit of a coalition with the local warriors and the British, and they retook the city of Kuala Lumpur. Can't get much of a shot of it from here, but it's not a bad little church. Again, with stained glass windows. Just over the road from the Eco Forest, Bukit Nanas. So the leader of the Chinese Secret Society, whose name I now have got for you, Yap Aloy, he regrouped and joined forces with the Pahang warriors and the British in 1871 to reclaim Kuala Lumpur. The British wanted to help because, well, all they wanted was a stable supply of tin and a stable region. So that's what they did. Isn't that just a grand looking building, a very imposing structure with its big columns going up there. Might be the Maybank building. Architecturally, not quite as inspiring as some of the other buildings here in Kuala Lumpur, and it needs a bit of a wash. But quite nice nonetheless. Oh, nice Mercedes. What is it? Oh, I thought so. AMG GLC 43. Very nice indeed. Oh, now, to finish this story off at the next place, if I eventually find it. Now, this is what happens when you just randomly walk around. If I can get a good shot of it. Traffic! Traffic! Another AMG. Traffic anywhere, everywhere. Alright, there it is. Random walk around and you randomly run into another Hindu temple. Well, check out this. You might not be able to see, but that roof is all blackened from all the incense burning over the years, or perhaps the candles. Yes, that's. I like just walking around randomly. It's well, sort of with a sense of purpose or a sense of direction, but. You never know what you're going to find. Like this one, the Hotel Casavilla. Let's have a look. Not that much to look at from the ground floor, but thought it looked old. Built in 1924, so over 100 years. Over 100 years old. And directly over the road, this building, or series of buildings, the Manor, pretty old. This whole street, actually, or this section of street, except for that monstrosity. Orange, what were you thinking? The Step In Guest House. Very nice indeed. Just here, again, just over the road, built in 1919. It's now the Pizzeria De Yang, maybe. Nice. down these very colourful steps. A couple of tags on the wall. And that's what we got. Steak. This mashed potato under there. Pepper sauce. Looks good. Okay, it's not Malaysian, but you know. Now that's a nice building there. Probably, it might be a hotel, could be apartments. Very nicely done. Yeah, that one not so much. Where was I? I just had lunch. Had a couple of beers to go with it. Wasn't a bad lunch actually. First steak I've had since where was I? Oh, during Tet in Vietnam, so a few months. But it wasn't a bad lunch, yes. Now, I don't work off a script, and I've forgotten where I was. So, summarise. So Yap and Loy had defeated Raja Mahdi, something like that, and the British have stepped in. They'd had enough. They wanted their stability in the region, more than likely for purely selfish reasons, which is the British way back then. They like to get things their own way. They wanted to keep the supply of tin open and reliable. So that's what they did, and they stepped in at the end of 1874 and pretty much took control. The British installed their resident here in Kuala Lumpur and established control. Was that another word for colonisation? I'm not sure. Did that actually happen? I don't know. Officially, I don't know. But that was the end of that. Stability reigned in the region. The Raja Mahdi was, he stepped into the history books, never to be heard of again. Didn't appear in history again at all. And the British remained here, I think, right up until 1957. Which brings us to where I wanted to be. Now, I'll just get a good shot of this, 1 second. And there we have it. Built in 1913, St Anthony's Catholic Church. And what a stunner it is. And we just step slightly to the right. The mighty Merdeka 118 standing right behind it. Wow. What an amazing shot. What a great view. And again, just step to the left a little bit. There it is. Both of them in all their glory. Oh, sorry, you're looking into the sun. As I said, built in 1913. It's a very nice looking church. Ah, and there behind us we've got the tower, KL Tower. So that's it. That was my almost random walk around. Didn't have much coherence to it. My rambling little story about the Civil War here in Kuala Lumpur. I actually originally intended to go to Bukit Nanas today, But got sidetracked. That's okay. Now I've got to find a way back and find another story for my next instalment of Kuala Lumpur. The magnificent Kuala Lumpur. I really like this city. I think everyone should come and visit. It's an amazing place. You can even get pink Porsches. A pink Porsche Cayenne to drive around in. Alright. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.